Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Full Potential Show. I'm James Rick, and this is your number one non-boring source for personal development. And today on the line, we have Dolores Presley. She's a motivational speaker, founder, and principal of Dolores Presley Worldwide and the Born Successful Institute. Today's show is about empowerment, building up yourself and your network, because it doesn't make sense to go network if you aren't empowered yourself, because who's going to want to network with you? Today, we're so happy to have her on the show. She's been everywhere, including the Oprah Show, ABS, NBC, CBS, but most importantly, she's been on the Full Potential Show today. Dolores, so delighted to have you. Thank you for being on.
I'm delighted to be here. Loving it.
Woo! We're excited.
Woo!
We had a few technical details, and I told Dolores, I said, you know what? You just got to listen to your computer. They're taking over. The more we listen to them, the more life is easier. So that's what we did, and here we are. So Dolores, talk to me about where this empowerment kick started. I mean, you have to have something that happens that inspires you to take the action. This is the pattern that I see. So where were you in your life before you really felt empowered, and what was the transition point for you?
I've got to take you back, way back as a little girl, 7 years old. I mean, that's way back. But anyway, they robbed me of being a beautiful ballerina. They told my mother I was too fat. And I want your audience to know that sometimes things that seem bad for you are actually good, because it was devastating for me. I mean, I just dreamed of being a ballerina, and they made me take tap dance. But I think that bad thing that they did to me made me decide I am never going to allow anyone to rob me of my power as a little girl. And so I get to be an adult. I want to start a model agency for plus size women. We're talking 30 years ago, so we're going back. But I mean, we all know about plus size models now and all of that, but we didn't have that back then. But I felt I could be a model. I felt that I could have a successful model agency, and here we go with no. So don't take no for an answer. To me, that's just an indication that, okay, it's no right now, but it's yes tomorrow.
Okay, so you were a persistent little girl then. You were like, mom would say no, you're like, okay, it could be yes tomorrow, mom. Don't hold out on me forever. And as a little girl, you created this amazing resolve too. You said, I'm not going to take no going forward, and you resolved this as a little girl.
As a little girl, I was thinking that, and I think that empowerment, that empowerment took me on to the rest of my life. And when they said I couldn't start a model agency, and they told me no, and there's no way that there could be a model in Canton, Ohio, have a model agency. My model agency, Dimensions Plus Model Agency, was one of the best modeling agencies. We work for Essence, we work for Glamour Magazine, Vogue, you name it, right from Canton, Ohio. And I was working another job, by the way. I was an elementary school teacher. So your viewers who have some other jobs, but they're really not living their dreams don't have age limits. You can make it happen.
And you can do it in parallel, is what I'm hearing you say. I mean, being this elementary teacher and starting this plus size modeling agency. I mean,
I did.
You were really stretching the bandwidth, but you made it happen.
I made it happen. Even when I was on Oprah, I was still working as an elementary school teacher, and I had written a book called Clean Out the Closets of Your Life, and I just kept sending it to her and sending it to her. You have to just have tenacity. I'd send my materials. I wouldn't hear anything, but I remember I had interviewed Jack Canfield, and he said they sent 171 proposals before they got a book proposal, before they got an answer for Chicken Soup for the Soul. So what if they had given up on, the 5th one, the 100th one? How about your audience? When do they give up? You have to have tenacity. So even I didn't hear one word from the Oprah Show for at least a year.
Wow. And by then, how many had you sent out to them?
I believe about maybe 4 or 5, and I do that every year. And then I did it for like a year and a half, and then finally they pretty much called me and said, don't call us, we'll call you, kind of thing. And before you know it, I was on the show. And
they called you? Did you keep sending in, or did they just they really did? They called you?
They really called me. One day I was driving down the road. I answered my cell phone, and they said, this is a producer from the Oprah Winfrey Show. And the rest is history.
So, and how long after you had sent your last book? I mean, did you stop sending books, or did you just start sending different things in there?
Are you joking? I did not stop sending them until they finally pretty much said, Dolores, send us 30 copies of your book. But they didn't talk about my book. Let me tell you that too. They did not talk about my book. They talked about teaching because they knew I wore two hats. And they said, well, we want you to talk about teaching. And that's what I did. But I haven't taught in about 6 years. I've been retired.
But here's the thing. You were on the top of their mind when a teaching episode came up because you were so persistent.
Exactly. You must do that. I have something else for your viewers. It's called decaf and the power, how you can empower your life through decaf. First of all, you have to make a decision. What is it that you really, truly want to do? That's the problem. Many people vacillate back and forth. They don't know what they want to do. Decide, make a decision. Then that C, be committed. And of course the E a little bit with empowerment, but be committed. I was so committed to saying that I'm going to be on the Oprah Winfrey Show. I would actually say it to people before I was even on there. So what are you committed to? If you're working on a business, I know you're committed to your Full Potential Show. You're committed to that. But what are people committed to? And then you can dream all day. You can make decisions. But if you don't put any action behind it, that's A, then you're just going to be dreaming. And then the other thing is follow through and focus. I tell people sometimes I speak all over the world. I'm so blessed with that. And sometimes I say, you just have to go to the F word, and that's focus. I was working as an elementary school teacher, radio, TV, all those things. But until I went to that F card of focus, that's what I really want to do in life, is be a professional speaker. I wasn't as successful. So they can use a little decaf to empower their lives.
I love it. What a simple yet powerful system. That's decaf. Make a decision. E, empower yourself. That's empowerment. C, committed. Be committed. You were on the Oprah Show before you ever got on the Oprah Show because you were committed. A is action. That's where the rubber meets the road and you implement. F is follow through, and the other F is focus. Sometimes you just have to go straight to the F card and you have to focus.
I love it.
I love it too. It's funny. And it's true. It's something that we all have to do. So let me ask you this then, Dolores. What then do you think really stops people from doing something like this? Something so simple. What is holding them back?
I think a lot of people fear. That's the problem. People just fear so many things. I've heard that fear is false evidence appearing real. If you think about the things that you have worried about, it doesn't even come into fruition. So do the thing you fear. Just do it anyway. I guarantee you it will not be nearly as bad as you have envisioned. But how do you do that? One thing that you have to do, and I have this thing with women I call Up Woman, and how you have to stay powered up. How can you face your fears? Where are you reading? Are you reading, filling up with things? Are you reading things? Are you connecting up with people? We can't do anything in this world by ourselves. Are you connecting with other people?
And this is where the network part comes in, because what I'm hearing is the first part, this decaf really is about building yourself up, your up woman or your up man, and then reaching out, like you said, and recognizing that you can't do anything by yourself. And I was watching an interesting video by Thomas Friedman the other day, The Economist, and he was holding a pencil, and he said this pencil cannot be made by any one company or individual. It's made, and he went off and named all these parts all over the world, all these different things, from the saw that cuts down the trees that makes the wood, and all these things. And that's really something I think entrepreneurs and business owners and even that lone executive or manager has to get through their head. They can't do it all by themselves.
Self-made millionaire, I don't believe that. I don't believe that anyone has made themselves a self-made millionaire without other people. I think about, it took me, like maybe 25 years to become an overnight success, but it's because of the people in my life. And when you are fearing things and when you just don't know what to do, reach out to some people who really can support you and help you with your dream. You can make your dream happen. I cannot tell you how many people told me, no, you can't start this agency. No, you can't be a professional teacher. A professional speaker. You're a teacher. How are you going to go across the country? But it all worked out. My students did very well on their tests, even though I might have been sneaking out speaking at some corporate. But
all right, so I hear you, and I really think it is true what you said. It's the fear that holds you back from doing these things, from making the decision, from feeling empowered, from making the commitment, to taking the action, to following through and focusing. what do you do? What do you do to get through the fear to the other side where there's all this victory and reward?
First, as I said, I read a lot. So I read a lot of experiences. And I look back at what I have done in my life sometimes, and I still have fear because that's a normal feeling. That's a normal emotion. But what I do is look back into my past. So I want your audience to look back. What have you done that you were afraid to do and that it happened? I think about, speak all over the world. How did I make that happen? Because I believe, obviously, there's a higher power and we have this power inside of us. But I look back at that. And then the other thing I do is I reach out to friends. So I might have to call you in the future and say, hey, can you help me? And I think that's so important.
Put me on speed dial, Dolores. I'll be here. Okay. Now, so two things really, and I think that we really need to reiterate this for people to really absorb it, and that is that when you fear, by reading a lot or researching a lot, you can acquire knowledge that can help you overcome the fear, because your fear is really sometimes or many times just trying to prepare you. It's saying you're not ready for that, and you can listen to it and say, you're right, I'm not ready for it. You can say, you're right, I'm not ready for it, but what do I need to do to be ready for it? What do I need to learn? And that's the first key. And the second one that you mentioned is building that network, reaching out to friends. And by having those people that maybe have either done what you want to do or can be your encouragers and your supporters, I think knowing that you're not doing it alone and embracing that, not feeling I'm going to do it myself, I'm a self-made millionaire, but embracing that you don't have to do it by yourself can help you overcome the fear. So I think those are two very great lessons. Dolores, what would you say is one of the first one or two action items that somebody should do when they leave this video, when they are done listening to this interview? What would you recommend?
I want to say, stop saying I'm going to do it and do it and do it. So if you want to write a book, stop talking about I want to write a book. I would say you just get some index cards and start writing down some ideas. Just ideas about what you want to be in your book. Maybe you want a tip book and just start writing it down. Get you a digital recorder and start just saying things. That's what I did for my very first book. I carried it along with me in my car and pulled that digital recorder. Now we don't even have to do that. You can pull your cell phone out and just
your cell phone, your iPad, your iPhone.
Yeah. Yes, all of those things. But that's what I want you to do. I want you to do it. I don't want you to keep saying, I'm going to do this. I want to do that. And just take a little step at a time. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Mm-hmm. So don't get so overwhelmed and be fearful that you can't make it happen, because you can make it happen.
One thing I notice about this, and it's a great point, Dolores, it's that when you do start taking some kind of action in whatever you had this idea about, it starts becoming real. And that starts making you feel excited, inspired. It's not like just this theoretical, abstract, I'm going to do this someday. It's real. It's like, wow. Even though nothing great happened, it's like, I'm actually doing it. Like, if I keep doing this, if I keep taking a small step every day, I can project out 3, 5, 10 years from now when I took 3,000 steps. Like, this actually is real. Like, it's happening. So,
absolutely.
Really, really powerful stuff. Dolores, any final thoughts before we wrap up today's show and tell people how to get your free 111 success tips that you need to know ebook?
Right. They can go to the website, DoloresPresley.com/full potential, and we will email you, and you'll be able to download it. We won't even have to email you. You will be able to download that and just send us, visit the website, DoloresPresley.com, and I have several other ones, theupwoman.com. Speak to Grow. If you're interested in being a speaker, I have that as well. But we just have something for you that will help you live a better life. I know my purpose. I am to help people live better life. That's why I was created.
Well, Dolores, you helped me live a better life today, and everybody who's watching and listening right now is thankful and inspired. I'm sure I can hear them. Yes, I hear you. Yes. They're ready to stop making excuses and to stop saying that someday they're going to do something. That's the first thing they're going to do, is start brainstorming what it is they really want to do, and then make a decision. Go through the decaf process, which certainly is a lot more exciting than just a caffeine process, I think. I don't know where you came up with this stuff, but it's good. It's very memorable. All right, so everybody go to DoloresPresley.com/full potential. That's DELORESPRESSLEY.com/full potential. And go and grab a free copy of 111 success tips you need to know. That's a free ebook. And check out Dolores Presley's website. She's got a lot of helpful resources. She's a speaker, she's a motivator, and she is an empowered woman who is helping women all over the world to live a more empowered, inspired life. That's DoloresPresley.com, DELORESPRESSLEY.com. And for everybody who's watching and listening right now, be sure and subscribe or like the Full Potential Show so you can get more great insights from people like Dolores and freebies that you will only find right here on the Full Potential Show. Dolores, you've been a delight. Thank you for being on today.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Take care. Bye-bye. Well, that concludes this week's episode of The Full Potential Show, your number one non-boring source for personal development. I'm James Rick, and if you want to get more positive programming for your brain absolutely free on a weekly basis, just visit fullpotential.com.
If you like The Full Potential Show, you're going to love the Full Potential Club. What would you like most as a Full Potential Club member? Be 2 to 3 times more productive? Do what you're passionate about? Have more energy? Reduce your work hours? Travel the world? Enjoy an amazing lifestyle on a frugal budget? What if you could do them all? James Rick has been there and done it in ways that few people have. For anyone serious about taking their life or business to the next level, you know you've got to do more than just watch. You've got to do. Join James Rick and other like-minded people for an incredible $10 a month at fullpotential.com/club. Be educated. Be empowered. Be the best version of you. fullpotential.com/club. Try it free for 30 days.